You're checking out Pyro Radio right now with me, Jay Fresh, live in the place. Now, time for not only a special guest, but also an artist who I've been supporting for many, many years now, and I'm loving the new energy and new support around his new movements. Maxwell D on the phone line. What's happening, bro?
What's happening, Jay Fresh, brother? How are you, man?
I'm really good, man. And like I said in the little intro there, man, time right now, the time for you is incredible. There is so much happening in the world of Maxwell Ranger.
I know. I mean, it's been a journey, man. I mean, you've seen it as on the side, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy that you could be in the working so hard, and then all of a sudden you're in the machine, and it's like, rah, this is what I've been trying to get to. So it's been positive, but it's been definite hard work. It's not been easy, and I've still got so much more to do. So it's like, wow, you know what I mean?
Taking it all in and just trying to process everything, I guess. Yeah,
exactly.
Now, it's been 20 years since since a record that has really kind of impacted so much. I mean, PAs and requests, that track still go on. And now this year, we've got the Serious 2020 remix.
Yeah,
has it really been that long?
I think it needed an anniversary. I think it's more like a Serious 2020 anniversary. I think it's a song that a lot of people underrated. When I say not like intentionally underrated, but just something that went underneath the radar, how big of a song it was because it didn't, maybe get into the top 10 or top 5. But in my opinion, that would always be one of the top 10 garage records that were played out. You know what I mean? And evidently, proof is in the pudding because it's 20 years later and it's gone through so many different generations of people. So, I just feel that Serious for me it got love and it blew up and everything, but it just followed me around it. I've made loads of other songs, and Blackberry Hype and Noe and all these different other stuff that we've done. But for me, Serious was like my first song from beginning to end, me on the track, my first song that got me in the game, my first song that ever got me noticed, and it was such a big record that anywhere I go, everybody requested it so much that I couldn't run away from it. And I mean, until I just like, you know what? Let's just treat this like a birthday then, innit? Let's treat it like an actual person. Let's give it an anniversary or birthday every year. So we're like 20 years in. I remember I'd done an anthem with New Brand Flex.
Yes.
Done, for Channel U and that. So that was quite interesting. But you wouldn't believe when that was. That was like 2006. 2006. So that's like 14 years ago. Like how long that is, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. And I think because that record was so powerful to you at that start of your career, was there ever any element of, I just don't want to update it, I just don't want to do it because
all the time people, this ain't the first like offered remix. This is like the 100th offered for a remix. Like, Max, you should do Serious. Not every MC I've bumped into along the years are like, oh, you should do Serious remix. I get down like, yeah. But I always felt like keeping me in prison. It's like it's a genre that, not genre. I won't say genre. It's like a typecasting. If I was in EastEnders as Dirty Den, Serious would have been, my name. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to like always attend more Seriouses, and it was hard because the genre of music changed. It's not just about being talented. It's not just about having songs. It's about the machine. It's about the marketing. It's about the setup. It's about the timing. It's about the industry that you're in. It's about the people that you're connected to. So there has to be so many boxes ticked before you can get. So all these years, I've been trying to get all these boxes ticked all at once to launch a new song. And I've been putting out loads of songs and they've been doing really good. I've had loads of songs in America, songs in movies and all the rest of it. But to be put in a machine in the UK and to be like, to recognize of what all the hard work I've done, it's like, about bloody time. I always say that, you know what I mean? So it's exciting, man. It's exciting.
Well, definitely, I couldn't agree more about it being about that time, because you called me a few months ago when lockdown was a lot stricter, and you were just like, Fresh, I need to tell you this, and you told me about the track, and you told me about the video we're going to talk about in a minute. And so if we look to the track itself, the feature artist, it's Capo, Novelist, SO, Bruiser and Tempty. How did you pick who to choose? Because surely, if everybody knew this was happening, then, as you said, everybody's going to want to be a part of this history.
Yeah, well, for me, it done this. Oh, 1 second, for me, it done this. It was like Nicky was saying to me, look, we need new blood. You know, we need new blood on the song. So because obviously a lot of people, we're like, I'm still thinking that, you know, it's good to bring back certain characters and blah blah blah. But he's also saying to me like, yo, man, like there's a completely new generation out here to a point where like we're like 2 generations behind. Like the kids now that are coming up, they only know about Stormzy. You know what I'm saying? They think Stormzy's the godfather of grime. You know what I mean, or whatever. So you got to imagine like there's so many people that are out here that are doing the thing. So I was like, yeah, you know what? So he said, you know, I've obviously dived into the industry and looked around and thought who was popping. And Capo, man, I'm just a big fan of him. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of his. I just love his voice. I love his skill. I love his rhyming scheme. And for me, he definitely had to be on the track. And Slim, you know, he hooked it up. And Novelist has been a guy that I've watched around for years. And, you know, he's even been in a couple of lineups with myself. So I know, but for me, he's like the leader of the new school. You know what I'm saying? For me, even though he's been around a lot longer, but I feel like him, Big Zoo, Capo, they're like the leaders of the new school, of the new grime look. Yeah. You know? So, yeah, I just thought that he needed, and obviously with Temper T, the reason why we had Temper T is because, you know, Temper T, man, he's just gas mask 24/7. There would never be a tune with a Temper T on it without it being hype, and that is what I was looking for.
Definitely, man. And what I thought was really dope as well, I was interested to see what you would do with the video. Because, again, when we look at the original video and videos of kind of that era and how they were shot and how, obviously, just like with the music, things have kind of developed over time. But the video has got so many sick concepts in there. Like, I love, like, the people tuning in on the radio, the old... sorry, go on.
Because you know what it is? So what I was going to say to you, the reason why it all ties in together... it's the movie as well, so it's a nostalgic grime movie with all this going on. So you got to understand, we had to make the video because it's a soundtrack for the movie. We had to make it tie in. So when Nicky and Femi come with the treatment, I was like, what do you mean Street Fighter? Kind of, I was confused until I actually looked at the thing and I was like, oh, you're gonna make, like, I was like, oh, and he's like, don't worry, Max, trust me, I know it's gonna be all Green Room, but when we put it together, you're gonna be like. Just like, so when I was there, I was just like, okay, and then I read it and I was like, okay. When I got to the bottom of the treatment, I was like, you know what, this is going to be crazy, because the iconic moments, the album covers, the Dizzy Rascals, you know, Boy in the Corner, the So Solid Mega Man's album. We even had the Octave and the Trino, and we couldn't really use that one, you know, certain politics with someone on the tune, but we had a lot of iconic moments in there. So it's like, you know, the Temper T was meant to do So Large's part, which was Wiley's part in the playground, but he didn't want to do it, so we kind of like made him up the Kano part, and then we went for So Large. You know, he's another one that used to be a Mucky Wolfpack back in the day, and I was always a fan of him, and so he decided that you know, he was I was a fan, so I always thought, you know, I need to have this guy around me. If that was more for me, so that was a personal favorite for me, you know what I mean? So, and then Bruiser, I mean, for me, because he's so original. He so stands out. There is one MC that sounds like him. No one in the planet. So for me, that's got to be special, right? You know what I mean? That's got to be talent. That's got to be like unique and everything. So for me, I was just like, Bruiser. For me, I'm really proud of what we've done. I'm really blessed to have that opportunity. I'm really grateful to have a song that was able to remix and for people to still know, and to have all these new artists on it. And we're killing it right now, absolutely smashing it. So it's been crazy, man. I'm enjoying it.
Definitely, man. I mean, the visual is really powerful. I mean, it won't have gone unnoticed that social media is just awash with not only the video but everyone's individual clips, and like you said, there was the Tinchy reference, Wiley's reference. I think the first reference that I saw just in the clip, I think, was Novelist's the Mega Man, the iconic kind of So Solid photo shoot, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is sick. But then literally at a very similar time, another grime tune has come out with a similar kind of ethos around the video.
Well, before, if I'll be honest, we shot the video in July. So we shot the video. I signed my deal in May. We done the video in July. We was prep. I had the treatment in June. Then in September, like obviously we was like COVID is the reason why it come out so late. If it wasn't for COVID, we would have come out way before all the other videos, yeah. But because of COVID, so what happened is that I saw Nines had a little. He done similar concept with all the you know, like all the album covers with Jay-Z and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, and then he's done a Dizzy Rascal album cover, and I was like, oh no, because remember I'm watching the video at home. No one doesn't know it's coming. No one even know what's going on. I'm just like, oh no, he's nice. I'm messaging him. I'm like, bro, he's done the Nines thing. And he was like, what? And I was like, He goes, nah, don't worry. It's completely different because ours is a grime song. And, you know what I mean? And that's a hip hop thing. And then, as we about to release the stuff and it comes out, I'm like, I see Yizzy and JB with a similar concept, but I was like, is it everybody must have known something was in the air, but or it's that time even to pay back, to give homage. I think it is the homage time. Like, it might just be homage time. Like everybody needs to, start paying homage, and it's just good because I believe that us lot are the new elders. If you know what I'm saying, we are the new governors of the generation, and I think. If they don't give us homage and, give us props for all the things that we've done, I'm talking like So Solid, Heartless, Crew, Page, you go, all that, then where are you going? Like, if you don't know where you're coming from, where are you going? How are you going to understand this? Because a lot of kids running around, like, they're going to make a lot of mistakes that us got made. They're going to make a lot of, run into a lot of things, and they need advice and experience. So that's where we come in.
Definitely, man. Now, you mentioned there when we were talking about the track and the video, it was all part of like a bigger picture with the movie coming and whatever. Now, we know that there's a key date just around the corner. November the 13th is looking like a crazy day with a lot going on. Why is it so important, bro?
Well, November the 13th, not only is the Grime movie going to be streamed on Sky 373 through Channel U and Link Up TV and Virgin 383. Also, the EP gets released as well, which is the soundtrack to the actual movie as well. So Serious Has Really Come Out is the first single. Obviously you got D-Double's got the second single. And bruv, it's everywhere. I feel like it's like a culture. It is like, for me, it's a great promotion for me because everyone, like man like yourself, I've been grinding away. So, when you've just been grinding away and you finally get a little light at the end of the tunnel, it's like, it's really cool. But this light is not just an ordinary light. It's like a real movement. There are so many other people involved in it. For starters, it's Motown UK's first release ever. So Motown in America, there's the first Motown UK, and now that was their first release for Sirius. How iconic is that? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So then there's a new label involved. Then you got Nikki. We're bringing Channel U back for 6 hours. You know what I mean? Even how iconic that is. Brought so many people that were a part of Channel U. It's like, I feel like now the UK, even though COVID's happened, I just feel like the UK is starting to come together slowly. Because I do feel like, I love drill music and I love all of that stuff and I love what's going on, but I do feel like we are very divided as artists and people, and I don't think we understand the business much. I think Wiley was trying to explain to everybody, but where he's had so much ups and downs, he's had so much different politics with different people, I think that no one really wanted to take him what he was actually saying. But he said a lot of real stuff that could actually benefit a lot of people, but I think maybe he needed to do it when he was maybe at the highlight of his career, as in like the top of his career, when talking it instead of when you're declining. I'm not saying that he was he'll always be who he is, but I mean, like, he weren't like a Stormzy. He weren't Stormzy talking. It's like Stormzy saying now, everybody needs to come together, we need to do this, we need to do that. He'll have so much of an influence on people because he's like the main man. So that's all I would say, that we're suffering from in the UK. But other than that, we're good.
Really good, man. And I think you've made a really good point there about how messed up this year has been for a number of reasons, especially when we talk about kind of music and creativity. It's been very strange, and yet the amount of energy and positivity and light being shone on this moment, and against all odds and serious and everything wrapped around that, does seem like a really positive restart almost, and feels like, cool, now the levels are being hit, now the movements can continue. Like, music will always happen no matter what else is going on in life.
Yeah, because you know what? There's a lot of people that, yeah, I agree with you. Because there's a lot of, even for me, there was a lot of people that was like, oh, who's Maxwell B? Like, not to me personally, but they might not never knew I even existed, but I contributed so much and gave so much to people and done so much. And so it was like, yo, like, am I ever going to get a kind of, not like you go out looking for it, because that's the problem in this game. If you don't save nothing, you know, you will just get out, you won't get counted for. That's it. If you don't open your mouth, you won't get counted for. You think anyone's hollering at me for certain Grime documentaries? When I know full-blown well that there wasn't even much people talking any Grime lyrics. Because when we, in Pay As You Go, that was like the birth of Grime lyrics.
Yeah.
For me, So Solid was like the culture of Grime. The way they dressed, the crews, the street. You know what I mean? That was Grime culture, but they might not be overly on it. Like, you know, saying that a lot of, you know, they were more garagey than grimy, but they definitely was the Grime culture. You know, it's the street. It's what they saw. Bling, bling, chains, 30 man on the stage. You know, that is our street culture. And for me, Pay As You Go come along, and I, you know, I just come out of prison not long ago before that. So I always come with this street energy, this road energy. So my lyrics that I was writing, I'm 45, know what they are, I'm a murderer, don't let me get serious. And all these war lyrics, they were
like, pure war lyrics.
Yeah, they were, and it weren't because I didn't like yell or anything, because I was ladies man, you know, ladies man. That's my first, like, my garage lyric with Ramsey and Fentune, favourite part of me. And, you know, oh Lord of mercy, like all these gal tunes, love is a serious thing. So I was very diverse, but when it comes to the MCing lyrics, the street lyrics, it was very raw because, you know, man was a thug. That's it. There's no two ways about it. So, but then you got to say that I'm doing those lyrics over happy garage tunes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when to wake up in the morning, and then in the verse it will be like, from a place, you know what I mean? On the doom, 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 doom. Like it would be crazy. So it just goes to show that we didn't know what we was doing. We didn't have a name for it. It was just, we were just boys from the estate, growing up on the street, you know, doing music, and that's what we, you know, projected. So that's why it became so dark and stuff like that. So, yeah, for me, I'd say that I was one of the first to kind of like bring the street lyrics over these instrumentals and that. And yeah, you know, before you look around and there's like Nasty Crew, and then there's Boys in the Hood, there's all these other crews that are just coming up talking the same kind of vibe, you know, bringing their interpretation of the street to the music. And yeah, I mean, Ace, we played at so many raves, and you know, up and down the whole of England, and jeez, man, we entertained a lot. I remember going to like Leeds for the first time, and I'm thinking it's going to be loads of white people there, and you know, really, you know, I got there, it was Goon City. I was like, what? Chapel Town, this is worse than London. I was like, we ain't even safe in here. And you know, I performed one time not in the Marcus Garvey Centre, and they were busting shot on the stage. And the same guy that's busting shots was going to me, yo, Max, let me touch the mic. I'm like, bruv, you can have the mic.
It's all yours, bro.
It's all yours. I don't want anything to do with, you know.
Mad.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff that I learned.
But I feel like I was thinking about this earlier today when I was doing some work bits, that like, I think a lot of the time, you almost, unless you've got the machine behind you, you almost have to remind people what you've done and what you're doing to kind of not only remind them, but as new generations and new fans kind of come into play, like they don't know the history. Like if you're from a certain part of the country and say you're 14, for example, you won't know about the days of 1998 and everything. You know, for it to be reintroduced is really positive.
It's funny you say that as well. Me and my wife, like, we have this conversation, and she would say to me, like, why come you post up some old stuff sometimes? And I'm like, babe, you think half of these people that follow me, or new people that follow me, know that I've done this? There's so many people didn't even know that I produced and made certain beats. Like, they didn't even know I made Flow Dan,
Big Mike Man.
And that was that was his biggest tune, solo tune that come in the game and made his name. That's why everybody knew most of his lyrics. Nobody, you know, people didn't realize how much, you know, stuff that, you know, Eskimo beat was for me. You know, Wiley gave that to me. Like, there's so much things that you wouldn't understand or know that I was in the thing, and because I didn't speak, nobody wouldn't know that I was responsible for knowing getting signed. You know what I'm saying? Like, terrible getting signed. All these tunes that you've been skanking up and down, I've had a hand in a lot of stuff. You know, even down to Morfire. You know, Lethal Being that. Like, I done a lot of things with Platinum 45. They were my friends from the end. So it's crazy, man. I could tell people stories for days, and it's like, I think, you know, a book is definitely on the horizon.
Do you know what? Right, as you're saying all these extra things, and like we've known each other a long time, and a lot of what you've said is familiar to me. There's the odd thing that pops up that I go, you haven't mentioned that before. And all I'm thinking right now is I'm thinking mad in-depth documentary / book. I feel like there's a lot you've got there.
It's definitely in the making. It's definitely in the making. I've definitely got a few things that patterned, and it's good that now they put mine to the forefront. So. In the machine, so now I've got a voice, and I'm on a platform for maybe people to even pay more attention to what I'm doing. So that's what it is really for me. I believe I always had the talent, the skills to run up and down with all these young little youths and whatever, and more international. I believe that I'm very versatile and I can touch a lot of stuff and stand out internationally. So for me, it's been a hard battle, internal battle, with what you want to do in life and where you want to stay and where you want to get to. So for me, it was just like, I'm happy doing this music industry, but I can't keep on chasing my toe in the UK. You know what I mean? I'm getting older and older every year. Where do we go? You know what I mean? And people's like, you should be out there, you should be this. I'm like, right, bro, unless you're going to give me 100 bags, it's not
going to work.
They're going to help me. Yeah. So I just kept on grinding away and making power moves. And just keep making chess moves as much as I can. That's it. It's the only way. It's the only way. Until here I am in a position where I'm like, And it's still, for me, as I said to you, it's got a long way to go. Because it's like, what's next? I know what's next, but I'm just saying that to the people, they'll be like, well, what's next then?
Yeah, and that's the culture and the environment we live in now. But what I do...
And I've got to match it. I've got to match, if not better. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm cool. But
what I do love, Max, is like, for example, there's all this positivity and greatness now around, like we said, against all odds, Serious 2020, everything. But at the same time, we'll see you online, or I get the email that's like a day one dub plate that you've just put together and sent over, and you're out shooting videos and doing stuff like that. So like, the one thing about you, the graft and the intensity and the hard work is undeniable. It's always been there, bro.
Thank you. But you know what it is that I have to be different. I can't be like a signed artist. I ain't got the back, well, obviously recently, but I didn't have the back as other artists have. I would never be able to compete with Dutch Relly if he's in the machine. I'm not in, I'm not just using him as an example, but just I'm saying, so I have to find other avenues to connect and to get my music out there, release a tune, whatever. So I always, and I'm from a UKG era, so I have a lot of DJs that, spun my tunes for years, and, other people that in the industry that know, man. So what I do is I just like, I always look around and see what's going on and keep my ear to the street and what's hot, what's not. And I make certain moves, but then I also look after my people, because I believe that, for me, the DJs are everything. Without them, I'm nothing. Because if you don't play my tune, well, who's going to hear me? So I always have this relationship with a lot of DJs who are like, if I make a new song, I know people they get gassed sometimes, like, I can't believe Maxwell done me a dub. But I'm like, I'm just gassed that you're going to beat the hell out of it. because at the end of the day, you play it, 10 people listen to it, 20 people listen to it, they get back to me, it's all feedback. And if I can get that all going at one time, I've done 85 dubs for this day one tune. No, who would sit down and do 85 dubs? Like, no, people think, what, you're Maxwell D, you don't have to do that, you could try. I'm like, I try to put my hit record. But when it's like new songs and that, it's promo, it's promotion. Every single 85 of those DJs that are spinning it, that's to up and down the whole of the country. So we're talking from Scotland to flipping Bournemouth. And it's like, that's how you promote yourself. I think people are not looking to do that kind of hustle no more. People have forgotten about the hustle. People are getting lazy. People are thinking, people should know who I am, or if people just want to leg up. I don't mind. I love the studio. I was sitting there day in, day out and graft. It doesn't matter to me. I'll make a million tunes. One of them's got to stick. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to stick at the wall. 100%. So my mindset is just a different sort of graft. And I think that's what's helped me to get right out. I believe so. Well,
like I said, man, I'm so happy to see this great energy around you and this extra support, and you're in such a great place, man.
Like yourself, like, people have to build people like yourself up, because you as a guy that's been grafting for so long, and it's like the same thing. It's like, you know what I mean? And whenever you've got in a certain position, you've always come and looked to the right people. You're like, Max, I've got this project, that we done Pablo together, and that was amazing for your album and stuff like that. And the reason why we have this relationship is because you're a guy that will be like, Maxwell, I've got a booking for you, Bournemouth, and you look after me, you come down there, it's correct. And you don't forget that. Those are the kind of things, because why? I will make sure, Jason, he's getting his dub plate. I've got a new song, bro. There's your dub. And that's how it works. You know what I mean? And if everybody, you know, was like that, I'm sure, you know, a lot of people will get further in their careers. So man like yourself, you are a big anchor. You come all the way from Bournemouth, but you come into London, into the belly of the beast, and make a name for yourself. You got to give yourself props on the back. So I'm just grateful to have friends like yourself and people that I know in the music industry that support. You know what I mean? So it's amazing.
It's all love, man. Now listen, thank you so much for joining us on Pyro today. Before you go, I have to get you to introduce the brand new track, the Series 2020 remix, and we'll play it right here, right now.
Yo, everybody, big up Pyro FM for listening to this interview with Jay Fresh. I'm about to introduce my new song. It's called Series 2020, the remix with Temper T, Bruised Up So Large, and of course Novelist and Capo, produced by Rootkid. And not only is it Series 2020, it's also the soundtrack for the new movie Against All Odds, which is out November the 13th on Sky 373 and Virgin 385. Sorry. So check us out, people. Big up Jay Fresh. One love, bro.